obviously this house has curb appeal. And I know you wanted a pool with a view. Dude, what are you doing?
You said if I wanted to buy or sell a house in Central Florida that I should follow you.
On social media.
Oh, you got a link? Thank you.
And we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Parts Unknown.
And you got the two of us tonight.
Yeah, my favorite co-host.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh, Stan,
I just flew back from London, and boy, are my arms tired.
Oh, and I am really tired too. Hi, Lily. For those of you who don't know, we had triplets that were born in our house yesterday.
Yeah.
Not actual babies, but little black kittens, and all three of them look exactly like the mother. So I don't know how I'm going to tell the difference between them. So this is going to be interesting.
That was my hat.
Yes.
It's showing we got 8 people, but I'm only seeing Lily, Cindy, and Caleb. So I guess maybe you're one and I'm one. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm logged off. I'm not on anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. So where are the kittens? You're not going to bring them on the show?
No, they're a little young for that. They're not even 24 hours old yet. So
yeah, they're
maybe maybe in a couple weeks I will.
Yeah.
They are just adorable though. So tiny, and I love their little. They try to meow, but their little squeaks.
Yeah.
Squeak, squeak.
Yeah.
And Mama's being very
best.
good. She's very protective, so I'm happy about that. So.
Oh, wait on. That is so cool.
Yeah.
It feels like I haven't been on the live show in so long. I don't know how to use any of the buttons
You
anymore.
haven't.
I know. It's been 4 or 5 weeks since I've been on.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Okay, Marla's officially here now. We can start.
Marla.
She was finishing watching a live stream from Disneyland. Oh, that's where everybody is. Everybody's
Nice.
watching the Disneyland live stream, I guess.
Okay, so hopefully they'll pop in here now.
Hopefully they pop in here now.
Yes.
Yeah, so I picked up this hat at Disneyland Paris.
Very cool hat.
I picked up a couple of hats, and I'm kicking myself when I went to Stonehenge that I didn't pick up a Stonehenge hat. And I got home and I went, you know what? Well, it was funny because by the time we got back from Stonehenge, okay, this is an amazing experience. I got to buy a souvenir. I'm going to buy a hat. Hi, Andrew. Yeah, we couldn't do last week. This week was tough. And hey, Paul. And
hi, Paul.
Hello, Heather. So I was like, you know what? Before we went, I went to the gift shop and there was a Stonehenge hat, and I was humming and hawing. And so I already picked up a couple of hats on this trip. So afterwards, I got to get it. I'm going to buy that hat, and it was closed.
Oh, no.
So I went online. So I guess the hat is
Hi,
like
Heather.
$25 online. I mean, which is fine. It was really nice. It had the Stonehenge all embroidered right across.
Yeah.
Shipping was like $50.
What? For
I
a
know.
hat?
Like, I'm not spending $75.
Are you? That's
Well, that's
crazy.
75 pounds, which is
No.
more like $90 Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
for a hat.
goodness.
So I didn't get the Stonehenge hat.
Well,
But if anybody's going to Stonehenge,
you know people that live over there, so
I
maybe
do. I have a friend that's like 20 minutes
send you
away,
one.
but it's still I still have to pay for the shipping.
I doubt that it would be that much for him to ship it.
Probably not.
All those places always charge you an arm and a leg to ship stuff. So
Yeah. And the other thing too is I don't know if you have to pay you have to pay to get into Stonehenge, but I don't know if you have to pay to get into the gift shop or because when we got there, it was closed. Like the Stonehenge was closed, and we went after hours. We'll get into it, but
here's Cindy.
Here we are.
Hi, Ariel.
Ariel. So Stonehenge was closed, but there's a security guard there, and we showed him we had an after hours ticket, so he opened the gate and let us in. I don't know if you have to pay to get in that gate part normally, type of thing. But I do have a friend that lives like 20 minutes away from Stonehenge, so I could.
Okay. Yeah, send him over there and check it out. Do some investigation.
So anyways, I took probably about 1,500 photos, maybe closer to 3,000. I never counted them.
I take that many when I go to Disney World.
Yeah. So I cut it back to like 90 for tonight.
Okay.
I thought that's too many, so I cut that back.
Okay.
So we got a lot of photos tonight. Is that near where Michelle lives? No, Michelle lives, I think she lives kind of in the mountainish area. Marla's foot. Yeah, is that near where Michelle lives? No, Michelle lives. I know she's up higher altitude, so she wouldn't be where Stonehenge is. I don't think. I could ask her, but yeah, I do have a friend that lives like 20 minutes away.
Okay.
Alrighty. So let's go do the. Do you have anything else you want, or do you want to get right into it?
No, let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna do the hidden Mickey. We'll do the MEI. It's in the details, and then we'll get onto the trip report. I hope you guys are buckled in because I got an entire slideshow.
Yes.
All right, here's to the hidden Mickey of the week.
Okay.
All righty, so this week's hidden Mickey, brought to you by Disney at Your Doorstep, is an upside down Mickey.
I see it.
And this is a picture I took not too long ago. Wink,
like
wink.
maybe a couple weeks ago.
Like maybe a couple weeks ago, and I got a great story that goes with it.
Okay, cool.
But if you could guess, so it's in a European Disney park. But if you can guess the attraction, I think would be a fair thing to guess. This attraction is also in California Adventure. If that helps.
Also in California Adventure.
It's Disneyland Paris. Yeah, literally, it's a pretty well known. And I know if I zoom out a couple, you'll get it right away.
California.
I'm just curious. I just noticed it now. What is this part? What is this?
That's what I was just looking. It looks like a Muppet face.
Yeah, or a Ninja Turtle or something.
Yeah, it does.
That's interesting. I never noticed it till just now. Haunted Mansion. No, it's not in Haunted Mansion, but it is a good guess. It is a good guess.
So you said there's one in California Adventure as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
they call it Haunted Manor there, but no, it's not. It's not Haunted Manor. I'll zoom out a little bit because I think this might be a little bit tougher. This might help. I think this might really help. Actually, the next one I zoom out, you'll get it. It'll be a race to who can answer it first. Take a look. There's a brick wall here. There's a bit of a door here or something funny over here.
Okay, Marla says web slingers.
There we are. Marla's got it.
Okay.
Marla's got it. Web slingers. I'm guessing the webs here in the corner might have helped. Yeah, web slingers at Adventures Campus.
Okay.
There we go. Everybody's getting it now, web slingers. And if I zoom out a little bit, there we go. We got the Spider-Man pajamas over here for sale.
See, I didn't even know that there was one of those in Disneyland Paris. So
Oh yeah. There's a whole Avengers campus there.
Hmm.
Yeah, Garla didn't know that they had web slingers. So I go into this store. So the funny thing is, so my friends I was there for 4 days. My friends were there for 1 day. So they got the Premier Pass. So the way the Premier Pass works in Paris is you pay 150 euro, which is probably about 160 US.
Okay.
For the Premier Pass. And that gets you on every attraction that takes Premier access once.
Okay. One time. All right.
One time. So you Haunted Mansion, Web Slingers, there's another Avengers one, Space Mountain, like all the big names. Pirates is not part of it. Just
I'm
like in
surprised.
Disneyland. Yeah, Disneyland there's no fast pass for Pirates either, or Lightning Lane, but it's same idea as Lightning Lane, but it's expensive. It's it's more expensive than the 1 day ticket. So you have to consider that. And I'm like, I didn't want to spend that much, and I'm there for 4 days. I'm going to do everything I want anyways. So you get to skip the line. It's like a fast pass. It's basically like a fast pass or a Lightning Lane, but every single attraction.
Okay.
And you get to do each one once. Not every single attraction that takes it.
Yeah.
So Peter Pan was not one of them. The Canal Boats, which has huge lines, was not one of them. Pirates, which has huge lines, is not one of them. Big Thunder Mountain is. Indy roller coaster, I think was. I didn't do that anyway.
Okay.
So basically, all the attractions I don't do. So why would I want to spend another $200 Canadian for something that I'm not going to use it anyways? So web slingers. So my friends all had the Premier Premier Access. So they went into Premier Access line, and I went into the single rider line. So we get out, or I see them, their heads, and I see my head. I walk right to the front, and I get put right on.
Wow!
So I knew I was ahead of them. I had like no weight at all.
Wow!
I walked in, and they said there was a person in front of me. They needed somebody for this ride, and they needed me next. So I got on like the very next one. I could see them; they were still back there.
Wow!
So I got onto web slingers first. So I get out, and I'm in the gift shop. So I say to the cast member, this was the only cast member I met that spoke zero English.
Oh no!
So I ask him, do you have any hidden Mickeys? And he goes, Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse? I go, yeah. No Mickey Mouse here. No. Emporium, World of Disney, Disney Store. No Mickey Mouse here. I go, no, hidden Mickey. I want a hidden Mickey. I'm telling the guy. No Mickey. No. Spider-Man. No Mickey.
Oh my God.
Like, forget it. I'll look for hidden Mickey myself. So
you just happened to see this.
So I found this hidden Mickey there, and I actually sent it off to the hidden Mickey guy, and he had not seen it before. So he's going to add in his next book.
Yeah, so, nice.
So hopefully I get credit with that.
All right.
But it was a fun story. It was funny. It was like the only cast member. And then later on, when I'm looking, I see him talking to somebody else, and he's jumping up and down. He's like literally like bouncing straight up and down, like as high as he could jump. So he was a fun cast member for sure.
Wow.
No Mickey. No Mickey. So,
oh my.
It was a lot of fun. All righty, let's do a MEI detail.
Okay.
And then we'll get on with the show.
I can't wait to see this.
Okay. So as much as I looked for details when I was at Disneyland Paris, I honestly didn't really see anything that was different than what we had here. So I'm going with something from Walt Disney World today. Blizzard Beach. You can take the stairs or you can take the ski lift. And I really like how Blizzard Beach has these skis kind of attached to the bottom of the ski lift. That's like a little extra hidden detail.
It is, yes. It's very cute. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Of course, I got this picture from the Disney food blog. But I have a picture like this similar at home with my daughter up there waving at me, but I couldn't find it.
What's funny about these things, though, is like you said, the skis, and that is a really cute detail. But then the contrast with the skis is the big umbrella.
Yeah, I never really thought about that before. Yeah,
So you don't normally see an umbrella when you see skis, so unless they're water skis, maybe. But these are
yeah,
not. These are
yeah.
supposed to
These are
be
supposed to be
snow
downhill skis, so yeah,
skis.
very cool. Yeah, I never included in on that before. That was neat. For those of you that are watching that don't know, so I went to Paris and I spent 4 days in Paris, and then I went to Disneyland Paris for like 3 3/4 a day. Then went to London for a Star Wars celebration, which was a 4 day celebration. Then I had about 3 days in London on top of that.
Mhm.
So I could sit here and talk about Disneyland Paris for the entire hour, but I thought I'd share basically my entire trip because the entire trip was so amazing.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, uh, I wish I spent my only regret this entire trip was I wish I spent more time in Paris and less time in Disneyland Paris. One extra day in Paris and one less day. I think 4 days was too much for Disneyland Paris. I think if you're doing it 2 days, 3 days would be
Mhm.
that sweet spot.
Okay, let me mention something really quick
Yeah.
before you get started.
Mhm.
For our listeners, viewers, we recorded an episode the other night with Stan, and I, and we went into a lot of detail. So whatever you don't catch here, you can listen to that episode, and maybe you might hear some stuff that you don't hear here. So.
Yeah, I tried to get different things from what we talked about on the episode. I tried to get a lot of some of it's going to be overlap, but I tried to get some different things.
So that should be coming out this weekend. So
yeah,
watch
yeah.
out for that.
So my first day was at an Airbnb at this old apartment building. I think this apartment building was about as old as the Eiffel Tower itself. It was old. Yes, Marla, please do listen to that podcast. Yes. It was a fun podcast. Yeah. So this is the door, the hallway looking out of the apartment building. Like you can kind of see how old these walls look.
Oh my goodness. Like those are beams. Like
yeah. Yeah. Like it was an old building. Wow. When I tell you it was an old building, it was an old building.
You know what? I would be really curious to know exactly how old that thing really is.
Yeah. I should actually message the guy and ask him how old that building is. He might know, the one that I stayed with. And that was the one that he left the key under the mat.
Yes. And it was a good thing that it wasn't glued.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the stairwell. I had to go up 5 flights of stairs.
I can't even imagine having to climb up those stairs with your gigantor suitcase.
Yeah. And if you look closely here, you can see the stairs are actually worn out from over the centuries of people walking up these stairs every day.
That's about what I envisioned from your description.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And at night, it's pitch black. There's no light. So I would take my flashlight from my phone and stick it in my pocket and have the flashlight from my phone.
Oh my
The
goodness.
last day I found out there's light switches with timers that you can hit on each floor.
Oh.
Somebody else used it. I didn't see them. I never did see them. It looks like the beams in some city and LA buildings. You kind of, yeah. Or like a Mexican style building.
Oh my God. I can't imagine having no lights though.
Yeah, It was dark. And I don't know if there's rats running around or cockroaches or anything. Like I'm just kind of praying that I make it safely. So it was a really nice apartment. I have to say, I was very, very happy. Very clean. All the amenities you need. Had a cooking surface here, an oven. Was the bed and the couch. It opened up into a bed. The TV was only French channels, not one English channel that I could find. So that was kind of pointless. The highlight of this building, of course, is the view. Yeah, you look out the window and down the street, and there's the Eiffel Tower right there. which was probably about a 10, 15-minute walk to the Eiffel Tower. And you can see the Imagineers did a lot of work with the details up here with all these.
Yes, they did.
And then right outside of this, and the funny thing is, I'm reading the reviews on this apartment
This is the
on the
bakery?
Airbnb site, and everybody is commenting on the bakery that's right next door. And I'm like, why is everybody commenting on it? So I had to check out this bakery. Oh my gosh, it was like the best bakery ever. So it won third prize for, I'm guessing this says best baguettes in Paris 2022.
Wow.
And all day long there's a line to get into this bakery.
Wow.
And it's literally almost a closet. This bakery it's tiny. It's tiny. You walk in, you pick what you want, you pay, you walk out.
I love the arch in the in the inside, though. I mean,
right here.
Yeah.
It was really a neat experience. This whole thing. There's their counter with all the little. Ooh. They have Easter bunnies. I was there right before Easter.
Yeah.
I don't know if and the people that worked in here really didn't speak English. So it was kind of just point what you want, and they would wrap it for you, and then bring it over and you pay for it, and then
everything looks beautiful. But look at how much stuff is gone on that top shelf.
Well, this is early in the morning, so I'm thinking that they weren't prepared yet or something. Oh no, this is afternoon. Sorry, this is when I first got there, I think.
That's like the cookie shelf, and they're like all gone.
Or macaroons or something. At night, this thing is empty. When you come back at night, it's completely empty. And when you, you know what, Cindy, that's another regret. I wish I tried more of this stuff. On the other side of the counter, it's like a U-shaped counter. So this is all baked goods, and then it was sandwiches, and it was loaves of bread and stuff. So I bought some loaves of bread, and I bought some sandwiches, but I only tried one thing out of this cake case, and I wish I tried more out of this cake case because it was really neat. Totally full in the morning, completely empty at night.
Wow!
Lying down the street every day. These people are just making money hand over fist.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. So the second day, I did a boat tour. It was €20, and I think this was probably the best €20 I spent this entire trip.
Yeah, this sounds amazing.
Yeah. So you pay €20. They give you a ticket, and that ticket is good for the entire day. So I went first thing in the morning the next day, and it hits all these stops along the river. Of course, I started at the Eiffel Tower, and then it goes here, and then it circles back again.
Okay.
It continues. Okay. Yeah. So you get off wherever you want, you get on wherever you want, whenever you want. The buses probably come like every 15 minutes. And you just get on the bus, you scan your ticket, they let you on, you get off where you want, and then when I come back on, you scan it again.
Any idea what Chima means?
I don't know. Somebody wrote their name in there or something like that. So this is what the boats look like.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So they're a glass, a dome boat, and it's open at the back, and then the pilot stays up front here. I spent almost all my time at the back.
Okay.
It was way too hot in that greenhouse for me. Being a Canadian guy, everybody else was freezing and they were all in there. I'm a Canadian guy with a jacket on, roasting. Like, so I couldn't. So this was one of the stops. It was the Louvre, where the Mona Lisa is kept. Now, I guess the problem with doing this boat tour is you don't really have time to visit each of these places. You just kind of get to experience them, like the outside of them, sort of. Yeah. Fancier than the friendship boats at Epcot, but same idea. Same type of idea as the friendship boats. So this little bird, I stopped for lunch at a park, and it was one of the stops. Look at the trees here. Like, this is early spring. I can just imagine what this is going to look like when it's fully bloomed and everything in this park. So I got to turn it up a bit. So I'm eating I had a soup and a piece of bread. I asked what's the soup du jour, and she says vegetable, but it was it butternut?
Butternut squash?
Yeah. That's a vegetable, I guess. I think it might be a language thing. But anyways, I got a little video of this bird here.
Aw, he's cute.
Can you hear him? How can you not give him something to eat? Like it's impossible to not give him a little crumb of some sort.
Yes. He's
So you have to give him a little crumb, and of course all his friends come right away as soon as
yeah.
right on your table. But
Well,
yeah,
that
I
was
I don't like feeding wild animals like that, especially when they got. I didn't see any signs, but yeah, you say never feed the birds, or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, you had to. You had to. He was talking to me so nicely. Exactly, Lily. uh, yeah, you had to. I couldn't. I just broke my heart. This bird sitting there singing right at me. Like I'm the only one at this picnic table. So, anyways, this type of stuff is everywhere in Paris. Like just the details of everything that they
Mhm.
had there just completely blew my mind.
Yeah.
At least of the old part of Paris. I didn't really go into the where the newer stuff was,
hmm
but just I was not expecting to be how much I would love all these old buildings and these old bridges and everything like that. I was overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed by it all. It's something you have to see, and and it's great seeing that. And then you go to Disneyland Paris the next day, and of course you know how Paris and Disneyland, they have like the sculpted chipmunks on Cinderella Castle and all that.
hmm
And I'm looking at him. I go, it's not as nice as the stuff that's real. As beautiful as the job Disney does on their sculptures and their stained glass and
Right.
all that.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Funny.
Word of warning: if you're it's a lot of walking in Paris, and the streets are not always even. This is a sidewalk that you have to walk on. Like,
Yeah.
don't wear heels. I'm telling you right now. Don't leave your stilettos at home.
Well, I wouldn't be walking around Paris with those on anyway. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, this is for myself. Even this was hard to walk, and there was times when I would kind of just walk off to the side because wasn't quite as bumpy. Like it's hard to walk on the sidewalk like this.
hmm Yep.
The other thing too, that kind of both in Paris and in London, the eggs are not refrigerated.
What?
The eggs are on the counter right next to the milk that doesn't need refrigeration.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
What?
These are dozens of eggs, and they're just on the shelf.
Mm. I
And
mean,
here
I
you,
guess if they sell out in a day.
no, they don't. And the other thing too that was really cool, I saw at one store, they had the eggs on the shelf, but they were bulk, and then they had empty cartons, and you just take what
Oh,
eggs you want in the carton, which is a great idea because you don't have to worry about checking for cracked eggs, or if
right,
there's a cracked
right.
eggs, you don't have to. The store doesn't have to throw away 12 or 11 because one's cracked. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
thought that was a great idea.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, Marla says she's heard about that, the eggs. Well, oddly, like when I was younger, at the store, we didn't refrigerate the eggs in the back room. They were just in the back room in most stores. I mean, now they all have to be
Mhm.
refrigerated, but when I first started with working in the grocery stores, we didn't.
Hmm.
And that was kind of it for the first day. I visited all these stops. I was exhausted. I did get back to my room. I went back from the one of the stops to back to my. I had a quick nap, and I came back. If I didn't do that, I would have had more time to see things.
Yeah.
But the Notre Dame Palace, the Notre Dame Cathedral.
hmm
So I was on the last boat of the end of the night. So I ran off the boat, ran up the steps, took a picture, took a selfie, ran back down and hopped onto the same boat because it was the last boat. Otherwise, I'd have like a couple hour walk
Oh wow. Yeah.
back home. The next day, I went to the War Museum in Paris, and just the amount of armor and stuff they had. They had a Luger from the World War II on display.
Oh.
They had, yeah, a lot of giving thanks to the American armies and its allies. Like flags that they found, and I guess on the battlefield were on display and stuff. I'm very happy with everything the U.S. has done.
Oh
How
wow.
much weight does this horse have to carry?
Holy cow.
Could you take this poor horse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only do you have the guy on you, you got all your armor plus the guy's armor.
Thanks. Wow.
Yeah. So I thought this was really neat. It was a 10-barrel cannon. I say on the podcast that the things that people came up with over the years to kill each other is
Yeah.
just phenomenal. It's just mind-boggling. And this was one of
Just-
the things that was kind of mind-boggling.
What year was this from? Did it say on the sign?
You know, it says on the sign, but I didn't download that.
Okay.
It was a complete failure, anyways.
Yeah.
The idea was that each one would have its own chamber, and I
Uh-huh.
guess it was meant to fire at troops as they were coming
Mhm.
In the field, but it didn't really work.
Good
So it
on
was-
paper, not in.
Yeah, yeah. But how much money did they spend building this thing, and the detail, like the scroll work that went into this and everything?
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah. Then they started. This is kind of like they started showing like the history of guns and stuff like that. There's a gun with an axe on it.
I like that one.
I mean, I guess if you also want to chop wood, or if you also want to hit somebody in the head, you gotta, yeah, you're good to go. And this was a suit of armor. I think this was made for like a king or a prince or something like that. But look at this, the detail
Yes.
of all this
beautiful.
work on here. Yeah, it is. Like some of that armor was, man, it was beautiful. Yeah. And then, this is the exact same picture again. Sorry. Now, who the heck would wear this into battle? How do you see out of this thing?
Yeah, well, I guess
And what I really like is the mustache that's that's on here. I like that mustache. Yeah, but one eye's pointing this way, one eye's pointing that way.
Oh my gosh. Is that supposed to confuse your opponent or your enemy?
I don't know. Maybe you see out the top here, but that looks like there's not enough room for you to see out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then the next day we went into to Disney. I took a few pictures of the room. It was a Toy Story kind of themed room.
Okay.
It's Toy Story, but based on Cookie Monster eyes. Caleb says. It's Toy Story based on Woody and Jessie only. So it's a Wild Wild West type of theme. They had pony rides and stuff like that. So this is I guess wainscoting here, and then this is like it looks like it's a 3-dimensional, but it's just the wallpaper border.
Just wallpaper. Yeah.
Yeah, to make it look like it's a shelf, which is really nice.
That's cool.
Marla's heard of Hotel Cheyenne. Yeah, so Hotel Cheyenne is it's like a Toy Story themed room. Great theming. Like it has like this faux cowboy or cow bedding. It's like the foot thing. This Woody boot.
That's cute.
Yeah, and then you got the around the horseshoe thing around the mirror. Yeah, I thought the theming was really good. There's like 4 of these sconces on the wall that light up.
Oh,
Still
nice.
have
Look at that.
Yeah, you got the little shampoo. So I was there 3 nights, so I got 6 of these.
Oh, wow.
Because every morning, I'm going to put them away, so they leave me new ones each day.
So you get new ones.
You get new ones each day. Even the I didn't take the picture. Yeah, darn it. The other side of this box has Hotel Cheyenne. And so does this cup, has Hotel Cheyenne.
Yeah,
on,
I see
these
that.
Cups. Yeah, which is kind of nice. It's nice to have this theming.
Hey,
the shower curtain. Yeah, so it has like this fake leather side here, and all the horseshoes. Woody's Round Table merchandising. There you go. Yeah. So now this is Disneyland. I took some pictures of some of the kind of the unique foods that they had there that you don't get.
Looks like cornbread. Yes.
It was like it was kind of like those are almonds, almost like a donut.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember if it had Nutella in it. Probably had Nutella in it. Nutella's everywhere there. That's like I think the whole park is sponsored by Nutella. And the coffee, you order a large coffee, and it's like this big.
Oh my gosh! So it's more like espresso then.
Yeah, but it's not. If you ordered espresso, I was afraid to order an espresso. I ordered an Americano.
Yeah, what would that have been in a thimble?
Yeah. But man, it was the best coffee ever. We actually sell that brand at our store. Begins with an L, La Sala or something like that. I'm gonna try some at home. It was like what do we have now at the Disney parks? It's
Joffrey's?
Joffrey's. Yeah, this puts Joffrey's to shame.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, this was such good coffee. Yeah, I'm not a sweets guy.
Yeah, he says that a lot, doesn't he?
You know what? I'm not really a sweets guy either. So I went to Walt's restaurant, and I ordered the corn chowder, cream of corn soup, and it came with popcorn in it because why not?
Cool.
Like, I guess the thought was that Walt likes popcorn, so we're putting popcorn in the cream of popcorn.
So that's the amount that you got? You didn't eat that yet? Boy, you don't.
I didn't start eating yet. No,
doesn't look like you get very much.
No, you don't get very much. This is just the appetizer.
Okay.
This is like the soup, yeah. Then I ordered the chili, and there was a risotto rice and something, and you get this kind of like a biscuit that's Mickey shaped on with the chili. That's it. That's the brand. Yeah, I mean, we sell it. We sell it here. I'm not sure if they have it in the States or not. I imagine they do.
I think so.
Yeah, I like these dishes too with the Mickeys on it. Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. Yeah, it's actually, Caleb, it was smoked popcorn was what it said on the menu. And then this was my dessert. It was the Mickey shaped lemon meringue pie.
That looks cute.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah, all the food was very good. But like it wasn't a lot of food. Like I'm a bigger eater than that. These are some of the macaroons that they had there, and some of the different desserts I had to try. I had enough macaroons and fish and chips on this trip to last me a while. I'm not a sweets guy, but I had a lot of macarons. This was bread at the buffet at the restaurant that I had breakfast.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it tasted horrible, but it was cool.
Really.
Yeah, it didn't taste very good.
How was the other one?
This Danish?
The roll?
Yeah, the Danish here was good.
Okay. Is that like raisins on there, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Good question, Marla. I got to be honest. I kind of think the fish and chips at Epcot were better than any of the ones I had in London. Definitely better than the ones I had at Disneyland Paris. There's a restaurant called Toad Hall Restaurant. I think I have some pictures from it.
Toad Hall. Oh.
Toad Hall Restaurant.
Aww.
And it's all themed Toad Hall. The wall. I didn't post it on here, but the wallpaper was so cool. I want to get a shirt made out of that wallpaper, like the same pattern. It was like the Haunted Mansion, but it was all Mr. Toad kind of looking.
Cool.
Hi,
Katie.
Hey, Katie's here. Speaking of popcorn.
Yeah. Speaking of popcorn.
So this was they call it Walt's vegan chili. So this is just at a quick service. But what I want to show in this example is all the quick service food, actually all the food, it's served in reusable dishes. So after you're done, when you go to you drop off hi Brenda, you drop off your tray. You put your dishes like in another thing, and then they take them and they wash all the dishes and reuse them. So for an example for this meal, so I got a coffee, a chili, a spoon, a lid, and a fork, and the tray. Okay. So this is not going in the landfill from that one meal I had. And you think about how many people eat at these Disney parks and how much we could save from the landfill. I just love this. I absolutely loved it. The only thing that went in the landfill was my receipt. Everything else.
What about the lid?
Yeah, they reused the lid. It's a hard plastic lid.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was on top of the chili. Yeah, so everything else you put it in the bin, and it's not attractive. It's not something that people are going to steal and take home, which is smart. Really. Yeah, like if they have Disney 30th on it, then everybody's going to be taking it home.
Oh yeah, they gotta have that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and all the quick service restaurants were like this. Very nice. Yeah, I was a big fan of this. The forks are completely useless, but other than that, you can't. So this is my friend Peter. He met Mulan He
Okay.
loves Mulan. It's one of his favorite shows, and he's not a big character person, especially princesses. But he saw Mulan, so he wanted to go get his picture taken with Mulan. There was no line, so he went and got a picture with her, and he got a selfie, and then he got a picture, and then we left, and she started running after him, going, Peter, Peter, Peter. So I didn't get the whole thing, but I'll play this video.
Okay. Oh, cool.
This is the character interaction here. So she's teaching him how to walk like a man. And he starts doing his goofy walk.
Oh, that's funny.
Now she's walking like a lady. And now she's just walking with him. Like we didn't know where she was going or where we were going. She just walked with us for a while.
How fun.
It was like so much fun. It was so funny though because after he takes a picture, we leave. She starts running. Peter, 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 Peter. He turns around and goes, "I'm going to teach you how to walk like a man. I'm going to make a man out of you." He said.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was absolutely hilarious.
How cute.
This is a little video of I did this part live. So here's a little video of the fireworks, and I gotta say I love this water streaming that they do. It's like a mixture between Phantasmic and the Castle fireworks show combined,
cool.
And then plus drones.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Neat.
amazing? That is so cool.
Oh my gosh. Holy mackerel. That is so cool.
And it's one thing to see it on here, but to see it live is something else.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It was, and they no longer doing it. Was just for limited time, and I think it's already over. But we did catch it. I caught it twice. They do a complete Marvel one at the Walt Disney Studios Park.
Oh, okay.
Across the street.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that was such a good show. Lily is saying, I love that when we saw it live, the projections were so clear. Yes, the projections. It's almost like as if they made. I don't know what they're doing differently there than Walt Disney World, but they're super clear on the castles. So that was kind of the end of my Disneyland trip. I mean, it was a lot more than that, but we're racing through here. We'll go a little bit Star Wars Celebration. Saw these two, and I thought I got to take some pictures for my Disney fans.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's funny.
Brenda's saying that Disneyland Paris did this about 5 years before it was done at Walt Disney World. Not the drones, but the projections and the water. The water really makes the show, for sure. And the castle, Marla, I agree. I think it's the best castle. I haven't seen the other castles. I did see the dragon. I got a bunch of video, but I knew we were going to be pressed for time here, so I didn't add any pictures or videos of the dragon. We just got some really quick. I met DJ Elliott. Finally, I told my story about the time that somebody thought I was him. Somebody thought I was DJ Elliott, and they wanted to get a picture with me. Yeah, just these droids they probably had, I don't know, 180 droids on display there. It was busy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, well, for one, it was a poor design. It was definitely the most crowded celebration I've ever been to, and I've been to 4. Really? It was my 4th one.
Was it the size of the venue itself that made it more crowded, or
so right down the middle they call this area here is called the Boulevard, and then here you see S11, N11. So then there's rooms off to the sides. So, but even those rooms were crowded. This is a restaurant up here. I couldn't even figure out how to get up there. It was always crowded. So this is right when they have 3 major theaters, and all the theaters empty out at the same time, kind of in the same area. So I saw this and I went, oh my gosh, I'm starving. I gotta get something to eat. How am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
Because I came out of the theater to this.
So was it busier than D23?
It was definitely more crowded. Yeah, like I spent I felt like I do. You're walking like this, just shuffling your feet all the time. My first podcast draft pick is that Solo. So here's the gang I was with at Star Wars Celebration. Chris, he's in the U.S. Air Force. His wife, who's in the U.S. military.
One of those.
Yeah. Peter and Melissa here. They live in Orlando. And myself, and then Jackson. Yeah. So this is the gang I hung out with at Celebration. So that was kind of it. Not it, but
yeah,
I'm trying to go quick. So that was a celebration day. So that after Star Wars Celebration weekend. So after Star Wars Celebration, we had London, and we don't talk too much about London on the podcast because we kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, this breakfast. So there's this little tiny restaurant. It was right close to the apartment we rented, the Airbnb we rented. And it had 1,300 reviews on Google app or whatever. 5 stars.
Okay.
Like not one negative review.
Wow.
Not one star. I think there was maybe one person did a 4-star, but the average was 5 stars. And this is your they call it typical British breakfast.
Well, we had those. It was almost the identical thing that we had almost every day when we were in Ireland on our trip. It's very, very similar. Paul, if he chimes in and says that, I'm not going to be surprised because.
Yeah. So what is this green stuff then, Chris? Do you know?
That I don't know.
They called it bubbles.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Full English breakfast. There we go. Brenda
Mushy peas?
Full English breakfast. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Or proper English breakfast.
Proper English breakfast.
You know what? There was proper English breakfast, which didn't have the French fries, and then there was full English breakfast that had the French fries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mushy peas. I think that's what it was.
Oh.
I think that's what, and they're fried.
I don't remember that being on the Irish breakfast.
That's the best thing ever.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
That was the best thing. I think it's mushy peas. Cindy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. We sell mushy peas at my store. I've never bought them. It's in a can.
I guess you're going to have to buy some now.
I'm going to have to buy some. Yeah. But yeah, this was just an amazing restaurant. It's a little itty bitty diner. I think there was like 10 chairs all together. They had more seating in the basement, which we didn't need to go to, but it was all local construction workers eating there. Yeah. I told him I'd leave him a review. I still haven't, but I got to.
Yeah.
We went there. We went there a couple of days. So this is Piccadilly Circus. It's a really weird mixture of modern and old, like old buildings with modern stuff attached to it. Yeah. See, like here you got these old buildings and this Times Square type screen.
Yes.
Hey, it was a neat place. It's a shopping district. They had high end stores and then souvenir tchotchke stores and tons of restaurants. This is like an old. I don't know. I just thought this was neat. I took a picture of it.
Very cool.
Yeah. They had a little garden. Yeah. So they had like Mary Poppins, Laurel and Hardy, Winnie the Pooh, Paddington Bear, Harry Potter. They had all these statues in this garden, which was really neat.
Very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have that in my front yard.
No kidding. Yeah. This would be... I actually sent this to Victor as soon as I took the picture. I sent it to Victor and said, "Hey, Victor, I'm in London. Look what I just saw." Yeah. So here's Piccadilly Circus. It was fun. I went there. My friends I was staying with, Peter and Melissa, they went to a Broadway show type thing that I really wasn't interested in.
Mhm.
So I went to Piccadilly Circus by myself
Okay.
instead. Yeah, and I had a good day. So that was kind of like our first, because that was a day that we switched after Celebration. We had to switch Airbnbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then the next day we were just basically walking around London, and we went to London Tower. So this isn't London Tower. This is Buckingham Palace. No,
Mhm.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one really hit home to me. So this is the Great War, World War One
Mhm.
memorial, and so this is in a park near Buckingham Palace area, like a short walking distance away, and it's kind of like a salute to all the different military for the British Army.
Mhm.
But what really amazed me, really hit home to me, is these holes here, which is shrapnel damage from the bombs hitting the sidewalks and the streets during World
Mhm.
War II, and
Mhm.
then so we have this World War One memorial saying how this is going to be the war to end all wars, and it's damaged by the following war.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know, for whatever reason, it just really
Yeah.
hit home to me.
Yeah.
To see that, and there's so many of the buildings have this damage on them,
Mhm.
the ones that weren't completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Speaking of completely destroyed, so this was a church that we went into. Absolutely beautiful.
It is.
Like, oh my gosh! And this is just like a church in London, like
Mhm.
And this is the I'm not sure if it was the Air Force Church, I believe, or the Navy Church.
Okay.
I think it was the Air Force, RAF, Royal Air Force Church.
Okay.
Church. So this church was built prior to World War One, and was completely destroyed basically
Oh, wow.
during World War One.
Hmm.
This is basically what it looked like before World War
Oh.
One. When they rebuilt it, they made it lighter. If you
Mhm.
notice, the
Yes.
original is darker, and this
Mhm.
is what was left
Wow.
after World War One.
Wow.
There was no roof; it was just walls. It was destroyed,
Hmm.
and the Royal Air Force funded the rebuilding of this church, and
Oh,
that's why they call it the RAF
okay.
Church, the Royal
Makes
Air Force
sense.
Church. So there was a volunteer there telling us a story that when we were talking to her, and she was telling us all the story. Of course, Chris, who's in the U.S. Air Force, was very interested in this Air Force church.
Mhm.
That was the reason why we went in. So I was wearing my Canadian hoodie, had Canada across it,
Mhm.
and as we're going, did I not take the picture? Oh, I didn't load the picture. Okay, I'll just tell the story. So, did I tell you this already, Chris, in the podcast?
Nope.
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 So this is a very, very heartwarming story, or hard to hear story, but an interesting story. So she saw I had the Canadian hoodie on. So she says, I have something to show you. So she takes us to this display case, and there's this little display case about, I don't know, 3 feet long in glass. Like you
Mhm.
can't touch the stuff. And inside it, there's this bracelet. And she says, this bracelet here was found in the 80s by a janitor in a concentration camp in Paris, or in France.
Hmm.
They were doing something with this concentration camp, has been abandoned, and they were cleaning it up, and this guy was kind of cleaning up this concentration camp. And I guess in between the floorboards or something, there was something he saw, and he pulled it out, and it was this bracelet and had RAF on it, Royal
Mhm.
Air Force. So he sent it to the church, thinking, this belonged to somebody that was at this concentration camp during
Mhm.
World War II. So they had the numbers, or there was a name, or they did research on the bracelet, and they found out that it belonged to a Canadian soldier who flew for the Royal Air Force, was captured, put in a concentration camp, and he died in the concentration camp.
Oh.
But they found out who his family was and sent the bracelet back to his family in Canada. And the family felt that it should be at the church. So they sent it back to the church with a photograph of the soldier
Oh,
who was their
nice.
family. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a picture. I wish I loaded it. It So there's a picture of the soldier who's probably 21, 22 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and this bracelet inside this case. I got a really nice picture
Wow.
of it. So
That's really interesting.
yeah, it really hit home. Like there's so much history in London and in Paris
Yep.
that it completely overwhelmed me the whole time that I was there. So so speaking of churches, so this is another church, and this is in Bath. So this is the following day.
Okay.
We went to a town called, actually, I was told it's pronounced Bath.
Okay.
But it's spelled Bath.
Mhm.
They said it's not Bath, it's Bath. I said, okay.
You're not from Chicago saying that word.
Yeah. So this is a church, and this is on the side of the church, and it's all carved out of stone. And these, it might be hard to see, but these are angels
Okay.
here. So this is a video. This carving of these angels go all the way up this
All
church.
the way up. Like they're climbing the wall?
Like they're climbing a ladder. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. And it's just a detail I noticed while I was waiting for my friends. I was just kind of hanging out, and I went, they're like stairs. And
Wow.
yeah, I just thought it was just really neat.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got to Stonehenge, and like I said at the beginning of the show, we got there after the park was closed. So there was a group of about 20 of us only.
Mm-hmm.
This stone straight ahead here is called the Toe Stone. So on the summer solstice, the sun lines up perfectly at noon. That this stone lines up right in between these rocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's just like for them to be able to do this, that's when it happens on that day at that time, that it lines up the shadow lines right down perfectly.
Wow,
It's
that's
just
cool.
incredible to think about. Might be hard for people to see on their phones, but nobody's talking. They're all just listening to me. Are we still on?
Everybody's just entranced with your info.
So my friend that came, he lives like 20 minutes away from Stonehenge, and so he grew up near Stonehenge.
Okay.
He says in the 70s we used to come here. It was just a dirt field, and we would drive out. My mom would drive us out, and we would park here, and we would climb on all the stones. We'd write our names on the stones, and we would well, now during the day you can't get anywhere near the stones. This after hours tour, before we got off the bus, they told us, don't touch the stones, don't pet the stones, don't breathe on the stones, don't lick the stones, don't kiss the stones, don't pee on the stones, just look at them. Don't do anything with the stones other than take pictures and look at them. You can get as close as you want, but don't touch them. And he said that summer solstice is the worst day of his year, because everybody, all the nuts come out, and they're running around and playing in the grass and ripping their clothes off. And yeah. So my friend says to the guy that's the tour guide, he says, as a kid, I used to climb on these stones all the time. He says, I grew up just hanging out here and stuff. And he says, there's a reason why we can't anymore. And this stone in particular is the reason. He says that there was an archaeologist here, and he was here with his little tyke, and his tyke was climbing on the rocks and everything and playing, and he's sitting there having a smoke. Oh, you can't smoke near the stones. So he's sitting there having a cigarette, and the kid comes, Dad, I saw a knife. I found a knife. And he says, what do you mean you found a knife? There's no knives here. He goes, yeah, I found a knife. So he says, okay, show me the knife. So, no, they're not Rolling Stones. So he says, let me see. So the kid comes and he points to this right here, which, if you look, it
looks like a sword or something.
Like a dagger. Yeah. It's about knife size.
Oh, okay.
It's about this big. And this is a hammer right here.
Okay.
And there was actually, I think he said 22 tools carved into this stone. So the archaeologist looks at this and he goes, oh my gosh, this is from the Bronze Age.
Oh.
this was used to make tools. And in order for them to do that, this stone would have been lying flat, whereas now it's like this.
Uh-huh.
So this stone, these carvings were when this was still flat.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's how old this stone is. He says, we can't have people touching these stones anymore because people are chipping off pieces and stuff and, taking them home. He says, nobody can touch these stones ever again. He says, we can't, mind you, his name's now carved into it. The guy that discovered this, or his kid discovered it. So he says, we can't be letting people, this is an important find.
Wow.
So it's because of this one stone in particular that people can't be touching these stones anymore. Now these stones are and this is the face of the stone. This is something when you go during the day you can't see because it's on the other side. They don't let you go all the way around, I don't think. This isn't carved. This is natural. So the stones were all taken. It's a quarry. It's about 10 or 15 miles away and dragged or moved to this location. Nobody really knows why this location. This is the location they made them. They're sunken into the ground. But this particular stone faces the quarry.
Okay.
And the theory is like when you walk into say you walk into a building, you want to have the most beautiful thing when you first walk in. That's what you see. When you walk into a church, the stained glass is all there right away. It's not behind you; it's in front of you. And so this was like the most beautiful stone at the time. So this is the one that faces you because people would come from that town to here, and this would greet them. Would be the face stone. There we go. Location.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
So we were there for the sunset, which was really neat.
Yeah, that's neat.
This little nip on the top here. And this stone here, this stone used to be standing up. It had since fallen.
Oh,
and
okay.
There's another stone that's a bit shorter that would have been across. So what they did was they carved the stones to have this little nip on it, and then they would carve the inside of the top stone and then place it on top like a Lego piece. Kind of how you would put Lego on top of each other. Sure. And that's how they stay. Is like that. I asked we're over time. I asked him how are they worried about London or England or Stonehenge getting heavy rain, and it loosens the soil so much that it could cause these stones to fall. I mean, like we have foundation problems in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Can you have foundation problems in Stonehenge? And he says they actually, I think it was during the 80s or whatever, they dug up or the 90s, they dug down and they cemented all these stones into place.
Oh.
It's underneath, they're all cemented into place.
Okay.
That they're not going anywhere. He says they're not, doesn't matter. They're not moving. So these are all there.
Very cool.
Yeah. So this is just like another sunset picture, and this is that stone that fell, and then the top of it. And they figure this is how they moved them. And the logs didn't roll. What they would do is because if the logs were to roll, they would just dig into the ground and sink into the ground. So they actually greased the logs up and push it, slide across the logs. So the logs wouldn't roll. They would just slide across, take the back one, move it to the front.
Right.
Slide across. Huh. So my question was, well, they must have had horses. Like how do they move these things? And he says there was no horses in Europe then. They were only in America, and nobody's been to America yet when these were built. Like nobody's traveled the oceans yet to bring horses to Europe. So this was before horses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
And this is my gang I was with at Stonehenge.
And there's Marty.
There's Marty. Yeah. So this is my friend that lives like 20 minutes away. He came out to do the tour as well, which was really nice of him because it's not a cheap tour to do the after hours tour. On the way back to London. Oh, let me just go back. So Chris here, he's the one I mentioned that was in the Air Force. Never driven on the left-hand side of the road. Never driven left-handed car.
Yeah.
His first time doing that, starting in the heart of London.
Oh boy.
Heading out to Stonehenge.
Wow.
Yes, Martin Shergood, Shergold, driving out to Stonehenge with a standard, no less, which he's not used to either.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Well, hey, throw you in
there's the hat I wanted to get.
situation.
There's the hat I wanted to buy right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Stonehenge, established 2000 before Christ,
Yes.
2000 BC.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great time. So then on the way back, we stopped in. I'm not sure if anybody here watches Ted Lasso. Chris, do you watch it?
No, I don't.
No, I asked her. You don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody in the chat does or not. But there's this little bar, restaurant type thing where they filmed Ted Lasso. There's a lot of the movies or the TV series is filmed in this one bar. So we stopped there for lunch, and yeah, so they have a little area here where they got pictures from Ted Lasso, which is one of my favorite shows. They have these scarves, the scarf on the wall. You can get your picture taken in front of. I asked the server. She said that there was 2 scarves. I asked if they sell the scarves because I would have bought one.
Mm-hmm.
They sold them, and she says, "No, we don't. You can only buy them in the States." She said, "You can't buy them in the UK."
Wow.
Yeah. She says, "So if you get any, send them here." I should maybe trade her a Stonehenge hat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had 2, and you could wear one for pictures because a lot of tourists stop into this bar. And she says yesterday somebody walked out wearing the scarf, and
Oh
they've
no.
never returned it. Yeah, so they only have one scarf now.
Oh, how rude.
Peter did this without me and my knowledge. I didn't know he was sending me. And this picture was taken. He kind of photobombed. I wanted to picture myself with the scarf. This rumor has it that Stan hit a stick of chewing gum in one of the stones. Actually, I don't chew gum. I'm not a gum chewer at all. There was birds making nests in the stones, so I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, there was a partial bird nest, and one of the stones they had like a fence, like a chicken wire to prevent birds from getting into. But yeah, there was birds flying back and forth with pieces of stick. God. There's no trees anywhere near there. I don't know where. Like there's a forest, a mile away. Birds could make a nest, but no, they are making Stonehenge.
They wanna, yeah,
tourist birds.
Yes.
So that was my 2-week trip in an hour.
Okay.
I'll never bring it up again, I promise.
Okay. So if you want to hear more about it, don't forget that episode is going to drop probably this weekend. So make sure that you check that out and you can hear more
on the Grand Circle Tour podcast. Here we go.
Yeah.
And if I skipped over Star Wars Celebration too quickly for you, we talked Star Wars Celebration on this week's solo show.
Yes.
As well. Peter comes on and we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
Thank you, Marla. Thank you. Everybody was so quiet. I hope they were listening and not just watching TV.
They were fascinated by your story.
Oh, man.
All right.
So that was great.
We should be back on again next Thursday instead of Friday. So thank you guys for being with us on an alternate night.
Yes. Yeah. This was good. All righty. I would say Ken take us out of here, but I don't know what we do. What are we doing nowadays? We got another. Oh yeah, we got Expedition Roasters to talk about, and then we'll get out of here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great week. Enjoy your week. It's Friday.
Weekend, yes.
You guys get weekends. I don't. Yes. I got to work tomorrow.
Woo-hoo.
Bye.
Bye.